Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Bhagavad-Gita, chapter number 2, text number 49. Dure nahi avaram karma buddhi yogam dhananjaya. Buddhav sharanam anvicha kribana bala heduvaha. So here, Krishna actually says, Dure nahi avaram karma. You give up karma in total. Because karma means it's become avaram. Avaram means most abominable. Right? Because of the identification with matter, we engage in all kinds of abominable activities, thinking that it is a right activity. And Lord, as He mentioned in the previous verse, try to engage in Nishkama Karma Yoga. Nishkama Karma Yoga is not Bhakti Yoga, however. It is above the karmic activities. It is superior, but it is not as good as Bhakti Yoga. In Nishkama Karma Yoga, you do not desire anything in return. But in karma and karma yoga, the karma yogis desire something in return. Though they are called yogis linking with the Supreme, but still they have sakama. Sakama means they want to fulfill material desires. And the material desires, it actually goes from one to another without your knowledge. We cannot be without a desire because we are conscious beings. Conscious beings, especially the human beings who are much elevated than the inhuman, also the animals and demons and all. So they are really superior to all these members, Rakshasas and demons and Danavas, and animals and various other beings. But however, if a person does not apply the intelligence and right actions, then they actually fall down to the category of inhuman and other people, the demons and Danavas. We can actually see how our mind is actually working. Sometimes the ferocious actions that we want to commit, which Krishna calls as avaram karma. Avaram karma means most abominable action, to satisfy oneself and their wife and children. They go and commit all kinds of things, and they don't care if they even have to kill other members. Here you see some of them, the Acharyas explains, as robbing, killing, debauchery, plundering others' property and wealth, right? And adultery, and also false witness, all these things that we try to do to get some money, to enjoy the body. So these things are actually called avaram karma. So there are more. In karma, it can actually, the actions can go all the way to the Padala Loka. It's not that you are going to the Padala Loka. The actions are such lowest of all low exist, especially in the business. Every second they cheat. If you take the oil industry, if you take garment industry, if you take steel industry, aluminum industry, and food producing industry, beverage industry. So everywhere there are adulterations. Because even real estate things, without cheating, they cannot make money because they think it is an established order by the Lord. So we need to cheat the customers. These are called avaram karma. And plus, meat eating, gambling, drinking alcohol, various other things, sexual things, and it's all going on. So these all come in the list of avaram karma. This karma we do because of forgetfulness of God. If we are God-fearing, we don't commit these kinds of sinful activities. So therefore, Krishna is telling that do your actions in yoga system linking with me, the Supreme. Lord Vishnu is a direct expansion of Lord Sri Krishna, and he is in the material world, in the managerial, maintenance in charge, and also overall taking care of the desires of all living entities. He is the super soul in everyone's heart. He fulfills every single desire of living entities sooner or later. So therefore, our premeditation has to be stopped, because any illegal premeditations that we do, and it will happen. So when it happens, that you may actually think, oh, it was unknowingly I have desired, I should not have desired, because it creates a lot of reactions. So let us not actually even allow these kinds of desires to enter into the mind, because one day it will become fruitful. So when it's fruitful, then you suffer. So the present body is due to this karma only, these desires only. So if we can stop desiring for sense gratification or bodily happiness and desire only nishkama karma to serve the Lord, progress little more and engage in bhakti yoga to the Supreme Lord. Bhakti to Bhagavan is actually recommended in all the scriptures. All other things which we do is just a business transaction with other deities. Try to breaking the coconut, right? 108 coconut, if I get this to Ganesh and Lord Shiva, and many gifts you go and offer. So the expectation is very high than what do you give to them. You give to them only 0.1111%. But what you need in return is hundreds and thousands of times more. So these kinds of transactions are called karma. And it's not even karma yoga. There is karma, there is akarma, and there is vikarma. And avaram karma, Krishna is explaining, is mostly is karma and vikarma with desires. Desires always entangle us into this material world. So here, the Lord actually says, being the human being have the higher developed consciousness than any other species in this world. Because the human form is the ultimate form in the 84 lakhs types of living species. So therefore, they should actually use their human energy in elevating oneself. Otherwise, that person is called a miser. Right? So here you see Kribana Bala Heduvaha. Kribana, one who desires the results of one's own karma to enjoy the material facilities of this world, he is called Kribana by Lord Sri Krishna. So in the Bhakti Yoga also the same happiness is there. It's not that in Bhakti Yoga there is no such things as eating, sleeping, mating, defending and all. But all of them are done in pure consciousness. Pure consciousness means keeping Krishna in center. So there is no bondage then. Everything else is going to bound us to the material world. So all these actions we have committed and we are bound in this material world is due to our avaram karma. So if we can actually purify our avaram karma, do the same thing, just like you are making in the kitchen, you may make some preparation, right? So sometimes you use oil, vegetable oil, you may use coconut oil, you may use ghee. That is what it is. The actions are the same. The cooking is actually the same. So with what spices and what oil that you use, that makes the food rich. Similarly, it is an example. Similarly, we living beings have to do the actions, but we do rich actions or poor actions. That is our choice. So that makes the person poor and richer, not just because of some wealth. At present, people accumulate wealth just for drinking wine and meat eating. And this is going on in this world, everywhere. All this international trade and unlimited money they want to accumulate is just for this purpose. This is what you can actually buy with your money, because you don't have any idea that we can actually engage in the finest and purified activities. We are so low in thinking, like misers. Krishna says, misers, the stingy. Miser means have everything but do not want to spend. A person who has multi-million dollars in the bank and doesn't spend is as good as not having it. So what is the point? So that person is called miser. So if we have it, we spend it. If we don't have it, don't spend it. But having it, not spending it, is going to be like a miser. So these miserly actions put us repeatedly from one womb to another womb to another womb. And human form is not always guaranteed. Totally depend on our avaram karma, nishkama karma, or akama karma, not sakama karma. Sakama karma means all desires. I need everything. Just like if you go to Reliance or Walmart or some supermarket, you need to buy everything, but you don't have the money. Buying everything means you have to, have a house also similar, with a similar space. So this is the desire, and we are not actually having any control over it, unfortunately, because we do not know that we are the self, not this bodily machine. The body is a machine, so we need to learn that. So our education, our reputation, our birth in a high-fi family, these all will become useless as long we don't actually try to do nishkama karma. This is just like a vulture flies about 7 miles from the ground and is flying very nicely. But what is he looking for? A dead body. Where I can actually have a dead body so that I can eat. So our Janma Aishwarya Shrudasri Veer. We have Janma, Aishwarya, all opulences, first class education, all these things we may have it. It's just like a vulture, high-fi, flying. But what we are looking for? We are looking for the dead bodies, which are inferior, very low standard objects. In other words, we are looking for something very low in this world, despite our high-fi birth and education. So eating lash means shava, is not actually a great thing. But for vulture, it is a great thing. But for human beings, we can understand it is simply a shava. We understand that. Those who are situated in Sattva-guna, they can see a pig eating stool and urine and all kinds of disgusting things. He is enjoying. But a high-fi conscious person can think, oh, how miserable they are. So we don't want to be like a hog or like the vulture, flying so high and eating meat, right? So that is the education here. Give up all the avaram karma. For example, sometimes we fly. We are at the sky and the flight is going in 600 kilometers, 700 kilometers, 1,000 kilometers per hour. I have seen. Sometimes back, I was coming in Lufthansa. from United States to India. The guy was a little late to take off, but he thought that he can manage, adjust that time when he started flying, and he did it. 1,000 kilometers per hour he was going in. So I was thinking, oh, wow, well, something happens, right? There won't be any address of the body at all, of anybody sitting there, 450 people. So this is what it is. But what they actually do, they eat and drink and amuse, entertainment, movies. I was looking at everybody. They were all so busy with the different channels, and the guy is serving the alcohol and what you would like to have for your dinner. Everyone was selecting corpse, shava. So this is what it is. Even we are in the high-fi, our mentality is to commit avaram karma. Krishna hates avaram karma. So if our master, if we have given our life, though you may be still entangled in the family life, but if you pray to the Supreme Lord, my dear Lord, my situation is such and such, I am unable to, but I can at home, I can always worship you and try to satisfy you with whatever I have. Lord will listen to it. Lord will take your service. You are His child. How a Supreme Father can give up? So, though He is the Supreme Brahman, personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, He always loves you. But the moment we agree to be in His page, and we are completely protected. So, thank you very much, and Hare Krishna.